Good afternoon here at UBC, where we inspire Uganda. This is another edition of Sports Galore. Your host Alice Namatovu, Otai, and Ronnie Santos here in studio with me. We do have a lot on our local sports, including international sports. This includes as well Cranes fly out to play against Egypt, of course. Over the weekend, not the weekend, midweek, Thursday, Uganda Cranes played against Egypt, and it was a 1-0 win for Uganda Cranes. But of course, they go out, and we will concentrate more on the return leg this Tuesday. Tomorrow, Uganda is playing against Egypt. And of course, a lot of other news around Africa that are dominant. Senegal drawing at home. It wasn't impressive whatsoever. Cameroon also being thumped 4-0. Ghana are almost out of the World Cup qualifier. So all that in our local sports. And of course, we do have a lot of other news, including the new rules for rally out for 2018 ARC rules. Peter Otai, Santos, the weekend, guys.
Yeah, the weekend was very fine. Entered in the weekend when actually we had won Egypt. So I enjoyed it. And yesterday, after I think 2 years, and I managed to play football in Barada. We had the team, Western media journalists. We were playing a staff, Mbalala City FC staff. We lost 2-1, but it was a very good game.
Were you with your legs, eh?
Yeah, I do pray. I never used hands, I prayed.
Peter, how was your weekend?
Well, the weekend was very awesome, I have to say. I didn't play football like Ronnie Santos, though I have to say it was a little bit of a more relaxed weekend for me. I had time to chill off because it wasn't very busy sporting-wise. Uganda played on Thursday, so it wasn't very busy for me, so I had time to relax a bit.
Peter, Santos, we did have Uganda Cranes playing midweek Thursday. It was a nervous 1-0 win for Uganda Cranes. Most importantly, Bob Kins was here last week on Monday. We interviewed him and we asked him about how 30,000 shillings is going to affect the national team. Indeed, the brand was affected. Half of Nambole was empty.
Yes, it was, and it was actually very much evident that half of Nambole was actually very much empty. For those who went down to Nambole and witnessed what exactly transpired.
Even the VIP, 70,000 shillings, people struggled to pay 70,000.
I met a couple of fans prior to the match at Nambole, and the fans at in Chireka actually were complaining about the price. They say 30,000 was too much, maybe 20,000 was okay. FUFA came up and said that they were having a problem of money. They needed, the reason that's why they rose that to 30,000 is what they're looking for money in order to
So you look for money, you get less funds,
exactly.
and then what?
Mathematically for me it didn't work. It didn't make sense because you realize that Ugandans don't watch football on a Thursday. They don't. Even the Azam Uganda Premier League matches played on Tuesday and Friday. You can rarely get Ugandans in the stadium to actually watch that. But I think they over believed on the brand of the national team, and they say we shall go down and watch. They didn't get what they had expected, but of course, relatively, because
that is the game. That's the game, and you look at the other side.
On a normal day, that area is full. On a normal day, that area is full.
So first, they were affected by this not being played over the weekend.
There, you can actually see the back of the stadium. Very empty, even that side empty. Very bad. Very bad. But I have to say, for the crowd that actually turned up to support the team on a Thursday, they got their money worth. 30,000, yes, was too much, but again, the win was, I think, okay for them, and also the football that was displayed. Me and Ronnie Santos actually pleaded for people who play regular football to be included on that lineup, and we were not disappointed.
Yes.
The boy who scored, Emmanuel Okwi, had scored 4 goals.
First, it was Manuel Okwi coming back on the national team.
Even
then there was a late substitute who had sworn not to ever come back on the national team. Yes, when Mitchell is still coach. He was given time to play. But of course, for me, there was a few disappointments in there for me. But yes, it was a win for Uganda.
Before Santos comes in, I want you to look at this. The pictures move very quickly. I wanted you to look at the advertising board. FIFA allowed local federations.
So you had Telecom Egypt.
It was, for me, it was more of like a market.
I think there were more than 40.
It was a market. It was a market. Yes, FIFA allows the local FA to bring in sponsors. Look at that. So these guys actually signed deals with Egyptian companies. and that money I think has gone to them. That's according to the law, the money has gone to them,
Yeah.
which is good for
And then
for FUFA.
you refuse to put the price at a friendly rate of 20,000, and at the same time you deny 40 million people to watch the Cranes playing.
First of all, there is we don't actually go to school to understand. Sometimes even someone who never went to school will understand this. Because if I was the one, allow maybe 40,000 people to come and watch
40 million
at
people to watch it.
20,000.
Yes.
Look here, put the game at 15,000. All the people come and fill the stadium at its capacity. You get much money than when you put it at 30 and 20 people comes. But when you don't think vertically, you will not see this. Look here, many people were denied a chance not to watch this game.
If
on
you
TV.
look at on your right,
no, it was halfway. The stadium was halfway. Like what I said, we are happy we won.
Yes.
And I want to first of all credit the technical team led by the head coach, then Seka Jaibra, and of course Matthias Ure and Fred Kajoba.
Don't forget the captain.
And the captain,
Dennis Onyango.
Actually,
Man of the match for you?
No. They were making a mistake. They were substituting Milton Karisa to come in for Emmanuel Okwi, who had got injured. But Dennis Onyango said, you guys, what are you on? We are not here to test. We are not here to show people.
We are here to win this game.
Bring someone with experience.
Yes.
At that time, it was actually on a high note, and we wanted a player in the names of Geoffrey Serunkuma. Indeed, he's experienced. He can maintain those 4 guys behind. But you see, they were bringing in Karisa.
1-0 up. I think what you needed was to defend the goal.
No, defending is very wrong. Defending, you see, when you're 1-0 and you're playing against a team like Egypt, Egypt is a country that carries the ball and brings the ball to you. The only way you can defend against a team that carries the ball is also make sure that the ball is the other side.
Yeah.
That's the best strategy. Keep the ball the other side.
So Farouk Mia not in the game for me on that day. He looked a bit shady.
Yes, I think he was not much fit. I think he was not much fit on that day. He's not the Farouk Mia who's actually very sharp that we know. He was, to me, a little bit unfit. I think he was just lacking enough playing time.
Somewhere we have to give a credit to a player like Mia Farouk. His last competitive game was when Uganda played Cape Verde.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying he was lacking.
So he has less playing time, but we're giving him to play.
Much as you give him time to play, much as he's not fit, but there are players you cannot really leave on bench. A player like Mia Farouk has been delivering. Much as he was not the best Mia we know, but immediately, I think he was down 15 minutes. But after 15 minutes, to me, he picked
national team duty relies a lot on club appearances, isn't it, Peter? Yeah. So Okwi, having scored 4 goals, he could have been a starter, and he was.
He was a
Farouk Mia, no club appearances. You're at the bench.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how I think.
Was one,
unless if we are short of strikers, yet Serunkuma was there.
No,
who scored for club?
Mia Farouk plays that free role, and the problem was one. You know, we don't have Tony Maweje, and Baba Kisto did not turn up. Then secondly, Luwaga Kisto, who should have started, delayed. He came actually 10 hours to the game, meaning it changed the coach's system, the formation. If you are a coach, this was technical. So Mia maybe shouldn't have started, but there was no any other player maybe in his coach. In the coach's.
Yeah, like what he has said, it's all about technicality, the aspect of tactics. You see, the Egyptians came with one thing in their mind, and that thing is the best football of Uganda is Farouk Mia. So they actually kept their emphasis and their strategy built around Farouk Mia, and they forgot the other footballers like, of course, Emmanuel Okwi and the rest of the team. So I believe it was a very good choice, a little gamble of a choice that the 3 coaches, are they 3 or 4?
They're 4 now.
The 4 coaches. The 5 coaches made, and I think it paid off because if you realize, most of the Egyptians put their entire thoughts on Farouk Mia.
Gentlemen, the team
just like the way Uganda put
traveled.
On,
the team traveled yesterday morning to Egypt. Traveling team: Onyango, Isma Watenga, Benjamin Ochan, Nico Wakiro, Wadada, Geoffrey Walusimbi, Isaac Isinde, Hassan Waswa, Khalid Awucho, Ivan Ntege, Muzamiru Mutiaba, William Luwaga Kizito, Karisa, Emmanuel Okwi, Farouk Mia, Derek Sibambi, and Geoffrey Serunkuma.
It's the same team that actually played. My biggest worry is on, I don't know if the tacticians have realized that Onyango is not supposed to play that much. Because didn't he pick up a yellow card against Ghana?
Yes, he did.
Against Ghana, he didn't pick up a yellow card against Ghana.
The players who got yellow card, it was Mia Farouk and Juko Murushid.
Against Ghana?
No. Onyango has received his first yellow card in the last 3 games we have played.
Okay. I really thought that Onyango had actually picked up a yellow card against Ghana. Okay. If he didn't, then of course that would be a very big boost for the Cranes in Alexandria. But my biggest worry for the match tomorrow, the Egyptian fans, for the very first time, I think after a year or two, have been allowed to come and watch the national team playing for the very first time. So it's going to be a very crowded.
So it will be 12 against 11.
It's going to be, I can actually say, 70,000 people, because you know the crowd has been allowed for the first time in a year.
Yeah.
The crowd has been allowed to come and watch a match in a stadium, and it's a World Cup qualifier against Uganda. Who wants to miss that game? So everybody in Alexandria will actually be there to support the national team of Egypt. So the boys, I don't know what kind of strategy they're going to go on. That's why we need a psychological coach, a coach that brings down the mentality of the footballers, tells the footballers, look, you need to calm down when you're playing such a match in such a stadium. You know, bring in some bit of psychology.
Believe it or not, gentlemen, we won 1-0. I was at Nambole, but we have to accept Egypt was superior than we were.
A couple of minutes. A couple
A
of minutes.
couple of minutes.
The starting minutes.
I don't know. Look here. Myself.
Individually,
yes,
Egypt looked more superior than we were.
That's very true. Very true.
That one is not why it is not a secret.
And this is going to affect us when we are playing in a capacity stadium of 50,000 people.
Look here. To me, I still believe Uganda can even come and win. They can even win in Alexandria. Well, our first outing in Alexandria was not good. I think it was under 23 team. We lost 5-1. But Egypt was not superior at all.
Some of those players were playing our under 21 team.
Yeah, these are the very many, actually more than 5 players, and even in the Egyptian side. But we have played Egypt in the AFCON. It was not bigger. We outplayed Egypt in Nambole. They got their chances, they misused them. We got our one chance, we used it. Actually, if the game was fair, if the referee was fair, maybe we would have got 2 goals. If we had to play a fair game in Alexandria, I'm not shocked if we win. I won't be shocked if we win.
First with the referee giving 4 minutes of extra time, then all of a sudden it changed to 7.
It was miscommunication. It was actually miscommunication between the. Yes, it was miscommunication between the fourth.
They had taken so
official.
much time when Okwi got injured, Farouk Mia getting injured,
goalkeeper,
Egyptian goalkeeper getting injured.
When the guy put up the 4 minutes, the ref had to come and run and tell the guy, I said
7 minutes.
7 minutes. I said 7 minutes.
I'm not saying
so
no.
it was miscommunication.
I'm not saying no, but there is where you should not make a blunder. Imagine it was a local game, and you say you have added 4, the visitors are reading 1, then you come and say 7.
No, but we had too many interceptions in the game, so that was understandable.
But besides that, I saw many incidents where the referee was, he's shown his side.
Yeah.
To me, we won by, it was a on melt. And if we had to play actually a fair game in Egypt, I won't get surprised if we win the game. Because we have whatever
I have my reservations of Uganda winning. Call me a little bit backward or something, but I have my reservations of Uganda winning in Egypt. Number 1, I'll go with the fans. It's going to be the first time that the fans have been allowed into this stadium.
So they will be supporting this team 100%.
It's going to be Uganda up against thousands of Egyptians, and the referee will be under tension.
Peter, you remember the incident at Nambola when the Egyptian fans all of a sudden started fighting in the VIP?
That's why let me finish my submission. You have thousands of fans who are, I can say, have a lot of curiosity because they're not happy. Some of the fans actually demanded for the sacking of Hector Cooper. They are saying that the national team brought them an old coach.
Yes.
It is actually, I think, in one of the dailies of Uganda today, that the Egyptians are complaining about the age of the coach. They're already complaining. Number 2, you have thousands of fans who are going to be allowed for the very first time in a year to come and watch a national team play. For me, the mentality of our footballers, to me, some of them have not reached
they're very fragile.
They've not reached this actual level where they play in front of, I can say, 60,000.
Crowd, I am not.
Yes, they've
played
in Nambole, which is good for them, but that is at home. Now you're playing away from home in Alexandria. Number 3, the Egyptians love to play I don't know what kind of stupid game it is against their opponents. For the many teams that have gone to Egypt, they actually complain a lot about the goalkeepers, the light rays that actually come from the floodlights. What the Egyptians normally do, because the game is played at night, they increase the light, the intensity of the light over the floodlights facing the goalkeeper. I don't be very surprised, because the match will be live. You will see the keepers always do this, closing their eyes always because of the rays. So what they do is they increase the light on the opponent side and reduce the light on their side. So when there is a shift, that's what they do. Number 4, they actually water the pitch very oftenly. Wait and see. Our footballers, I don't know what kind of football boots they will be carrying tomorrow, but these guys will overwater the pitch, and it will be disastrous for us.
Okay, that's the table standings for now. Uganda on top with 7 points, Egypt 6, Congo 1, Ghana 2. What a surprise. We were thinking this is a group of death. Ghana, Congo, Egypt, Uganda.
Ghana cannot qualify for the World Cup.
In football, everything is possible, and Uganda is the only country in the world that has not conceded any goal in this World Cup qualifiers. In the whole world. Talk of Spain, talk of the defending champions, Germany. It is only Uganda in the whole world.
So gentlemen, still sticking to the World Cup qualifiers. What a surprise. Cameroon is struggling. South Africa is struggling. They lost against Cape Verde 2-1. Senegal is struggling. Yesterday, we thought it could be an easy win, but it was a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, there is no respect. It's the World Cup. Everybody wants to qualify for Russia. So the big boys are suffering against the small boys.
Yeah.
The Egyptians came here knowing that Uganda is a small team. Yes, they knew Uganda is the best team in Africa because it was given that award, but they did not over-respect the Ugandans.
They didn't respect us.
You saw when they arrived in the airport, you saw they didn't want to give interviews, they didn't want to talk to the press. They were just walking into the team bus and straight to the hotel. There was no time for that.
That's for professional footballers for you. That's how they behave.
Okay, yes, they behave like that. But at the end of the day, what was the result? So we have big teams that have been
have Cameroon. These are countries that are majorly feared at the World Cup. Cameroon before has defeated the likes of Germany.
Cameroon, they are the defending champions of Africa.
Afcon, yes.
But meeting Nigeria is going to be one of the toughest teams in the next years. Whoever is to face Nigeria must get prepared. They are
technically very good.
They have organized their team.
From the Olympics
see Nacho, you see Galore, you see
Victor
this
Moses.
player who didn't play at Arsenal, Iwobi. It is a very good team, and technically they have got that good coach. So I think Nigeria winning Cameroon, it was not a surprise. The surprise was many goals.
Let me add on what Santos has said. The coach of Cameroon was actually Nigeria rather is working under pressure. He was actually given, I can say, a target of qualification for Russia, and he has been very busy. He moves up and down, watching almost every game that his footballers play.
But in Uganda, we can't afford that.
Even Mitchell was moving around.
Yes.
Mitchell was moving around, but
with
not
his
outside.
own money.
Yeah, but not outside Uganda.
Yeah.
Mitchell would always move around to watch. That's the credit I can give Mitchell with. He would always watch a local game. Every week he was watching at least a game or two. He was always in the stadium. But outside Uganda,
the Nigerian team is dominated by professionals.
Yeah, but I think Nigeria, we have to somehow agree. Maybe they were like 4 goals. Cameroon, Cameroon is a big team. They are now hosting Nigeria today. I don't expect the same result.
So Cape Verde, who won 2-1 against South Africa?
Yeah, South Africa, I told you last time, I think when we were here, South Africa is just a name and money. Apart from that, no football in South Africa because they hosted the World Cup, they hosted CHAN, African Cup of Nations. Nothing they have done. They have nothing like a medal. To me, check.
They have AFCON.
No. When they hosted it, did they win it? It was Zambia.
No, they won it. When they hosted it. Are we forgetting 1990?
No. I'm talking about
recently.
Recently,
you're saying World Cup.
Nigeria lost to Zambia, I think, in finals, and they didn't actually. For your surprise, they did not leave the group stages in the World Cup. I think they only scored that goal for Shabarara. So to me, we are only praising South Africa because they have the top league, and when our players go there in South Africa, you hear our player goes to South Africa to do trials with a smaller club, Celtic. Then they tell you he has failed trials. They have their South Africans who are playing They are not making it. These players of ours who are going there and failed trials, they are the players helping Uganda to go to African Cup of Nations. It is just cloud, money, and there is nothing else in South Africa. They lost. I watched the game. A professional player who plays in the national team of South Africa, that boy who got a red card, he plays more than like my daughter home. She cannot do that. You cannot believe it. The ball is down. The ball is away. You know the rules of the game. You go on and kick a boy?
Yeah.
No. I don't expect to see that on a professional player. So it is only in South Africa where you can see it maybe. But losing to Cape Verde had lost to Uganda. So it was a revenge. Actually, before Uganda winning there, there is no country that had won there. I think 12 games at home, they had not lost. It is only Uganda. So South Africa goes there. They got a red card. Actually, they scored first. Half time 1-0 South Africa. They came and started playing their games. They lost 2-1. Maybe today they can even lose because they're hosting Cape Verde in South Africa. But check what is happening in Senegal. Senegal is all the qualities. They also got a red card, I think. But a red card cannot affect the game.
They got a red card,
At home, you failed to win Burkina Faso. It might even
remember
affect them.
Burkina Faso defeated Senegal properly.
Yeah. So to me, I think, like Otai said, it is World Cup. Everybody wants to go there. It is in Russia. We all want to go. I still put on my money. Uganda will go.
But not Ghana.
Wow.
No, Ghana is
Wow.
out.
So you have Cameroon, who are definitely out of Africa Cup of Nations. South Africa are following suit.
Yeah, but by the way, it's a normal thing. Watching South Africa in World Cup is just boring.
By the way,
so I'd rather watch Uganda in the World Cup than South Africa.
If Nigeria wins today, they will be the first
team to qualify. Yes.
If they win in Cameroon today
from Africa,
yeah, they'll be the first team to qualify in Africa. Yeah. From Africa, rather.
From Africa, yes.
So Belgium in Europe were the first team to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, Lukaku was very outstanding. I have to say.
2-1 win over Belarus.
Yeah,
I think
they have been. They have been very.
Yes, they scored against Gibraltar 9-0.
Yes, and
of course, everybody knows Gibraltar. They are not capable of anything. Bosnia yesterday won.
It's a small country, Gibraltar. It's just like Liechtenstein. They are that small kingdom in Europe. It's a small country, so I have to give them credit for at least appearing and working very well in the qualifiers. Of course, nine Uganda has conceded more than 9 in a match, I remember. So give them credit for that. At least they are representing. But anyway, talk about
Egypt
Belgium.
was the first team in Europe to qualify.
Yeah, talk about Belgium. I think Belgium have been very outstanding.
And Holland's chances as well are now alive after winning 3-1.
Yeah, they did. Actually, I do love Dutch football. I'm actually one of the few fans that support the Dutch. This one supports Portugal very much, like the name spot on.
Yes, Portugal won against Hungary 4-0.
I'm a guy that loves the Dutch, though I've been very disappointed on very many occasions, including the 2010 World Cup. Very much.
So were you surprised when they lost 4-0, I think, against France?
The Dutch? Yes, I was surprised, because really, how do you lose 4, really? How do you lose 4? That's the reason as why the father of Dali Blind had to be put aside from the national team of the Dutch. So at the end of the day, I think it's the Dutch are in the process of rebuilding, just like the way the Nigerians are rebuilt, the Germans are rebuilding, the Spanish are now rebuilding,
the Spanish team
and
as well
Ugandans
back
are
to
rebuilding.
life.
So basically, that is an element that has to happen. At one stage, the creme de la creme has to go, and you have to begin fighting to rebuild. So that's it.
Okay, so we have new rules in the ARC. Rallies, motorsports. Free registration, new scoring system, new point system, closed routes is the major changes in next year's Africa Championship regulation.
I love the element of free registration. So with free registration, at least you know that there are going to be very many cars to actually come through with free registration there, because many people would like to compete in an ARC, and what actually limits them could be the registration fee. If it's free for participation, I think we shall have very many cars coming through. The more the cars in the circuit, the more the fans you see on your screen will enjoy. And also the element of closed circuits will also be very okay, because you know, the fans sometimes can become very, very rowdy in some areas. We've seen cars almost colliding with the fans. So I think I'll be very, very happy about that. And we are told there will also be an element of the system considering 14 finishers instead of 10. So we used to have about 10 people would work very hard and finish number 14. So at least from number 1 up to number 14, they will be registered. So I think it's a good system. And this actually encourages more participation and good driving.
Well, Peter Otai, we've had the ARC rally in Uganda, and we've seen how excited the fans are, but still, Europe, the rest of Africa dominates us.
Let me tell you one thing. When it comes to motorsport, I think Uganda has the most crazy fans. If you go to Kenya, they don't watch motorsport like we do. Have you ever gone to watch motorsport, let's say, when the cars have gone to Mbarara, they've gone for the Kabalega rally in Fort Porto. People travel from Kampala as if the Uganda Cranes has taken an international match the other side. I think for us, the passion that we have in motorsport, the passion we have in that is the other motorcycle elements, that is motocross, is for me greater than the passion in Kenya, in Tanzania. There are no motocross and motorsport fanatics like those in Uganda. Even when I'm sorry to actually add this on. I come from Chiwanga. I stay in Chiwanga. There is one crazy border guy who Chiwanga Coca-Cola, after Coca-Cola, that village is called Chiwanga.
Namanve.
Yeah, Chiwanga after Coca-Cola.
Okay, Chiwanga.
Yeah. I wish the producer of this show could actually go there. There is to Chiwanga. There is a border guy who is actually working very hard in order to join the motocross. Now, this guy rides his border. It's the same for money, for making his business. It's the same border that he actually takes to race. But when you see him, you won't believe what you actually see. This guy can actually ride that border with one tire for about 2 kilometers.
Wow.
And is up like this.
Wow.
In Chiwanga.
Wow.
He's training.
Who
is the coach?
I don't know.
Oh, gentlemen, we're going to take a break, but when we return, we have a lot on our international sports, including Lewis Hamilton for the first time. He's in the lead of Formula One. Roger Federer, the US Open is going on, but surprisingly, there are so many big names that are out of the US Open, including the biggest surprise, Italian Fognini being banned from the US Open. So all that in our second edition of Sports Galore. Stay tuned.
You've got the hits. Roar. Have you heard? It's loud.
It's a smash, smash. It's a same-sex smash. Are you a party animal? Yes, I'm a party animal. Are you a party animal? Yes, I'm a party animal. Yeah. Are you a party animal? Yes, I'm a party animal. Are you a party animal? Yes, I'm a party animal. Party animal, tunga muia. Nazara wa mili muchaliko kuweza lupia.
Knock off your Friday with the UG Dance Party, hosted by the one and only Slick. Every Friday.
You've got the hits.
We need to go to Earth now. We've been hiding here too long. Let's go to our rightful home.
I'll teach you to live like a human.
Be careful of mankind, Diana.
as it is deliberate, funny as it is tragic.
I know.
What do you want?
I want to ask you some questions.
Jesus Christ! Really? What happened to the seatbelt rule?
Thank you for staying tuned to UBC, where we inspire Uganda. It's the 4th of September. In the next 3 months, it'll be almost end of this year, but we are still going strong here on UBC. So we continue to pray for Uganda Cranes, who are going to play against Egypt tomorrow. Hopefully, we don't know if we'll have the rights for that game, but
they are working on that, but I'm not very certain whether they'll
well,
be
hopefully, because if FUFA technically refused to give Uganda Cranes the game that was at home in Ambole, so we don't know, but UBC is working tirelessly to make sure that you're the fans.
Egypt can do better than Uganda.
I know. I know. But anyway, on our international sports, Lewis Hamilton winning the Italian Grand Prix yesterday. And for the first time, this man is back in the lead. And we were all thinking it's going to be Sebastian Vettel all the way, but it's not. It's Lewis Hamilton going to fight to the last wire.
Yeah, true. When you go down to the Formula One, I think like
for them to replace those big names. So
well,
now,
yeah, I thought Sebastian
things are
Vettel
getting
really
better with Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, Sebastian Vettel would be the perfect person to actually take up. For me now, it's an element of the car. For me, it's the element of the car vis-a-vis the tactical part of the team. Because you realize that Vettel is a very good driver. There was one of the circuits that actually got a problem with his tire when he was leading. Then he had a problem with his tire. I can't remember which whatever that was, but he lost to Hamilton because of just an element of his tires giving up. Even his teammate, the tires gave up. So for me, the problem is not on the driver. The problem could be the car itself and the tactical team.
So
they are not getting some things right for Sebastian Vettel.
Number 2 driver for McLaren,
Bottas.
He's a new signing. And of course, you being a second driver to one of the biggest names, and I think Lewis Hamilton today is the biggest name in Formula One. So this boy is continuing, growing in confidence.
Oh, let me correct myself. Actually, the rally was in England. At Silverstone. At Silverstone, yeah. That's where the two drivers of Ferrari got a problem with their tires.
So this man is growing strong. New car, you're driving alongside one of the biggest names in the sport, in that sport, and he's continuing to get podium finishes in Italian Grand Prix. He was second. That's another podium finish for him.
Very good for him, and of course, driving alongside Hamilton. You learn a lot. This is someone who has
These drivers don't do practice together. Hamilton has his own team. Bottas has his own team.
But look here, Aris. If you check, I understand when Lewis Hamilton is driving, he have got followers. Maybe this man follows him a lot. He reads about him. Maybe when he meets him outside the practice, they talk. Hamilton, when you are following him, I think now this was his 59th win. I think the race, 59 races, winning the 59th win in his career, meaning this is one of the best, and actually winning back-to-back 2 yesterday. So to me, after his winning, I saw his interview. He was saying, much as he has done the best, he has focused and aiming for something. He wants to be at the top, but he cannot feel comfortable now until the job is done. So meaning they have a mission. He's not one. It is a team. Besides, you know, when we see them running or what, after this practice, they go down and talk and say, how do we do it? How are you doing it, brother? I do this, I do this, I do this. So maybe he's learning from Lewis Hamilton. So becoming second, maybe one day he will make it at the top.
Do you look at Bottas as one of the
Yes. One of the
names that are growing in stature in Formula 1.
Let me take you back to Silverstone, that is in UK. He actually posted the fastest time on the laps. He was actually faster than Lewis Hamilton and faster than Sebastian Vettel. When Sebastian Vettel actually had a problem with his tire, Bottas was actually on his bumper. Was just bumper to bumper. So when he got a problem, overtook him. So he's one driver for the future. You need to watch out for this young guy. If he only can actually remain with the best team, of course, either Ferrari or McLaren, I think his future is very bright.
Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal are one win away from playing each other in the US Open. But the big surprise in there was Italian.
It would be very good to actually see them.
Not
it would
in
be
the
good
final,
to see them
come
in the
on.
final. Why not? Why not? Let's have them.
Rafael Nadal today is world number one.
Yes.
Roger Federer is coming back, but Rafael Nadal has shown signs of struggling in the US Open. Also, the other surprise for us is the coming back of Maria Sharapova, 19 months out, banned, but is back. Yes, last night he was outclassed and she's out of the US Open.
I think it's the element of her timing. She actually came back into tennis very well. She managed to win her first, then had a little bit of a bust up in her journal, her memoir.
And she also made very negative comments about Caroline Wozniacki. Caroline Wozniacki was one of the athletes
You see, Caroline Wozniacki actually went on and said bad words.
Yes, about Sharapova.
About Sharapova's element of drugs.
And then Sharapova came out and said, look, I am in the 4th round. I don't know where Wozniacki is right now, but I'm still going strong.
Yeah, I will actually support her for saying that. Unfortunately, she was knocked out, but of course, it's the US Open. The US Open is actually well known for producing, I can say, very many upsets. Very many upsets. You'll be very surprised.
So no Yuzny, no Andy, no Andy Murray, no. Actually, today there is no British tennis player at the US Open.
Yeah, you can actually count the amount of times that the British have won in USA. They are minimal. They're actually very few. It's
Tim Heyman
one event.
Used to. Ruzicki used to.
Yeah, but right now it's becoming very okay. Apart from those,
Andy Murray
apart from those, now if you go down and look at the history of the US Open, you can actually really count how many people from England Britain have managed to win the US Open. You can count them.
Okay, gentlemen, the biggest news around Europe today was Coutinho arguably denied by Jurgen Klopp to go and join Barcelona. This footballer said, I clearly want to be playing for Barcelona. Then the other surprise last week was Mbappe joining Paris Saint-Germain.
A very good player would wish to play for either Real Madrid or Barcelona. That is if you're a good player. Some people have got dreams to play Liverpool like Gerrard and retire.
Clearly, Coutinho said, I want to go. He placed a transfer request, but he was denied.
Yeah, somehow you have to sympathize with such boys. You know, when Barcelona comes up and says they want you, you are going to heaven.
As well in crossover. But for Felipe Coutinho, Liverpool actually told Barcelona Football Club to first hold on until they get a replacement. They tried very hard to actually get a few footballers. One of them was Oxlade-Chamberlain, you know. Another one was Lemar, where the footballers they were looking at. But unfortunately, I think it's only one footballer who crossed over, that is Ox, and they failed to get Lemar. So that's the reason as why Coutinho decided to remain. But I'll go with the wordings of the shareholders of Liverpool. They said Coutinho will not go at whatever cost, at any price.
So today, the youngest, the most talented youngster in Europe crossed from Monaco to Paris Saint-Germain. And if you look at the attack of Paris Saint-Germain today, surely you will know they are contenders for Champions League.
Yeah, I will not give them Champions League.
Oh, come on.
Look here.
So you have Angel Di Maria, you have Cavallo, you have Mampe, and you have Neymar.
Are they better than Neymar, Suarez, and Messi?
Oh, come on.
You're talking of Neymar, who crossed
Talk
over
about
to
a
PSG.
team. Talk about a team today that is technically good from defense to attack.
I am saying they need a good goalkeeper, by the way. They don't have a goalkeeper at Paris Saint-Germain. But anyway.
Look, Barcelona Football Club had a very poor goalkeeper, but they had a very good defense.
But
to tell you the truth,
but
they lifted
trophies. Here. You talked of Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, and Di Maria. To me, they are not better than Neymar, Suarez, and Messi, who are failed to do it. But anyway, football is. We shall enjoy football, especially those who watch Champions League.
We will.
On UBC TV, we shall be having it live.
Yeah, Champions League.
It is going to be hard. But of course, PSG signing that boy, they come up and say they have signed him on loan. To me, they are just protecting the other the other rule. The UEFA
because today UEFA is investigating the transaction of Neymar.
Even besides that, to me, Monaco they are not. There is no club that can give you Kylian Mbappe on loan. To me, they paid either money indirectly, but Real Madrid wanted that boy cash. Chelsea had cash. Arsenal had cash.
Manchester City wanted
had
as well.
Cash. Then you tell me they have given Mbappe to their rivals
on loan.
The direct rival on loan. To me, it is a pure. Maybe it is cash. It was cash. To me, it is not loan. But anyway, we wish him the best.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Peter Otai, Santos, thank you so much for being here for this edition of Sports Galore. We do have Champions League coming back here to UBC, and we do have Europa. Also, Spanish La Liga starting this Saturday. Those that don't watch UBC on Saturdays, 2 o'clock to 4, we do have Spanish La Liga, the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Sevilla, Valencia. So you'll be watching all that live and free on UBC. The producer of the show, Othman Sempewa, executive producer, Mr. Dean Chibirige, Mr. Ratoro on camera. You always make sure I look this great alongside these two gentlemen. Thank you so much. More quality programming is on next. Stay tuned to UBC because we are #1.